Hi, good morning. I'm just hanging out, drinking this is my second cup of coffee. I'm not gonna lie. I just love coffee so much that it's so warm and comforting. It's honestly just like the habit of coffee in the morning that gets me excited and warms me up. I don't really feel like the caffeine is needed. Good morning. Hey, Rose. I'm just sitting here talking about coffee, morning things. But I have something on my mind that I want to just share and hang out with you guys this morning. Morning. I don't have any clients this morning. I am doing the live workout at 9:30. Don't worry, guys. Don't freak out. It's happening. But I just wanted to jump on here and say, hey. So I did a workout and a workshop, but I want to talk about the workshop on Monday. And they're awake. It was about 3 practices to help you end emotional eating, created by me, a recovered binge eater. And it was actually an incredible virtual workshop. I've never done anything like that before, and we had like 200 people register. I think there were about 50 people on the live, which was really, really cool. But I felt like I kept using the words emotional eating, binge eating, overeating, and it wasn't quite like grasping the concept that I wanted to come across, because truth be told, not everybody binge eats and not everyone identifies as that. And also the visual that you have in your mind of like emotional eating could be like one thing. For instance, an example would be, hey Kitty, hey Rose, good morning you guys. Hey Free Spirit Ali, Success Bird, good morning you guys. A visual that you could have in your mind of what emotional eating is like you're just so upset, just distraught, something like your heart is broken, like what you see in the movies, right? Like the girl just got dumped and she's sitting on the couch crying and eating the ice cream. And sure, that is one example of emotional eating, but it's not the thing that I'm like trying to capture. So I feel like my vocabulary is a little bit limited, so I figured let me redefine it. So what I am talking about when I speak to overeating, using food as a way to cloud, as a way to disconnect, is the same thing that people use other coping mechanisms, other habits to escape from the moment. And now this could totally be a good thing, right? Like some people, when they're stressed and they're frustrated, they go for a run or they put on music and they dance. But for some, myself included, hey Alice, thanks for telling me your name. Yay, Ireland! Ireland has such a special place in my heart. Just side note, my dad's side of the family is Irish, hence my last name, Coen, Coen. And a lot of our extended family lives in Galway. And oh God, the last time we visited them was forever ago, but I love Dublin. I love all parts of Ireland, and my next like dream vacation is to rent a car and to drive around the entire country, staying in B&Bs, real B&Bs, not Airbnbs, and I just love it so much. So, but yeah, back to my topic. I truly, so using food to disconnect from the moment. This could be because you're feeling an uncomfortable emotion. And I know that people like to say, like, comes right off the tongue, negative emotion, bad emotion, like when I feel angry, it's bad, or I feel a negative emotion, like my my mood is down, I feel depressed, and the feelings that come around with that, or I feel sad, or I feel frustrated, or I feel low. We say the words bad, we say the words negative, and it gives these emotions like a rap that actually puts them in kind of a doghouse where I feel they don't belong. Because I feel even though we can't control the emotions that come up, we just experience them, that they're all there for a reason and for a purpose. And to categorize and like push out, like they're the, what's like a good description of this? I don't know. They're just like the runt of the litter. Let's go with the dog analogy. Why not? And like push them out and be like, these are the negative emotions. I don't want to feel these because they're bad to feel, and I need to fix myself as soon as possible, or like I need to not feel these emotions as quickly as possible. I need to get out of this moment as quickly as possible. That's where we start to turn to these things that we use to disconnect from that experience that we're having, or numb ourselves, or just like ignore or stuff down or sweep under the carpet. All of these analogies apply. And generally they happen when we feel quote unquote negative emotions. But I want to reframe the word, the phrase negative emotions when we talk about certain emotions that make us feel uncomfortable, that are not pleasant to experience. But it doesn't mean that they're negative. It just means, and it's totally relative, right? Like some people feel really comfortable feeling angry, and others feel anger is something that I can't feel. They were taught to not feel angry, and so they do everything in their power to avoid feeling angry. But anger is a legitimate emotion, and it does have purpose, and it does have a message. Another example is some people feel really comfortable being happy and joyous. And to be honest, just from my experience working with clients in the fitness industry space / the psychology space, some people feel scared underneath it all subconsciously. They feel scared to feel happy because what if it all goes away? What if I feel happy and then it gets taken from me? And so they actually feel quite uncomfortable with the feeling of happiness and joy. And so these people, might like do something to sabotage their joy or their happiness, or like if they're finally in love in a really safe and healthy relationship, they may not be comfortable in there because of subconscious beliefs and fears and whatnot that they've experienced through their life, and they may do something to sabotage that relationship. We do this all the time, and personally, I used food to self-sabotage myself. Not only like my physical goals, like my physical weight goals, my physical fitness goals, but I would also then, like it kind of just spread into other things with anything that I truly felt like I don't like question myself, because I believe that with using food as a coping mechanism, we actually doubt ourselves all the time and question ourselves all the time. And I had this fear that I actually didn't believe that I deserved or could maintain. I think that's the key. I had this fear that I couldn't hold on to and maintain this physical aesthetic, or the idea of the goal that I had in mind. Or let's just say like I wanted to create a new business goal. I wanted more clients. I wanted to contribute, and I wanted to take my business ideas up another level, or reach more people, or do something scary like get on a live. Something inside of me told me that you're not going to be able to keep this going because you've never been able to keep it going in the past. You say things that you want to do, but you don't follow through on them. And so at some point when it was getting like too much, when I felt like I don't know, it was kind of like an arbitrary time where I just felt like, can't do it anymore, it's too much. I would self-sabotage, and I would go into the kitchen and I would binge eat. And I would just grab whatever was in the fridge and in the cabinets and just eat. And I was totally disconnecting from myself in the moment because I had no like hunger or full cues. Like I wasn't hungry, and I also wasn't experiencing being full, and I was just mindlessly snacking, mindlessly eating. And this could go on for an hour, over an hour. And truly, it was me disconnecting from myself, being like putting an obstacle in my own way with self-sabotage, and like almost making myself right. Like, see, told yourself that you couldn't do it, and now you can't. So I'm redefining what it means with food. And like I said, using food to disconnect from yourself, to disconnect from the moment, and not be able to listen to that inner voice that we all have that is telling you what it is that you need. There were so many times where I confused, and tell me in the chat, like, because there's a few of you guys on here, tell me in the chat if you, I just lost my train of thought. Tell me in the chat if you have ever felt tired, like you're like, oh my God, I'm so tired right now. I just want to take a nap. I just wish I could go to bed. And you know you're tired, but then all of a sudden you get confused, and tired all of a sudden means hungry. And you go into the kitchen just kind of like on autopilot and start looking for food. Now, there's a biological component to this, because if you are tired, your body is naturally saying, hey, I need energy right now. Give me the fastest form of energy, and that's sugar. So give me something with sugar in it so we can increase our blood sugar, we can increase that, and we can wake up. But I had died in my mind that tired meant hungry. And so anytime I just felt a lull in energy, I would immediately go into the kitchen and start looking for food. And I had no conscious connection that this is what I was doing. Is this just me? Or do you guys get this? Hey guys that are just coming in, we're talking about redefining what emotional eating means, redefining what using food as a disconnecting mechanism is, a distraction mechanism is. So for so long, I actually had no idea that I connected being tired with being hungry. And I would do this with other emotions. I would do this with frustration. I would do this with avoidance, procrastination. I would do this with any emotion that made me feel uncomfortable. So going back to that phrase, negative emotions, and reframing it as uncomfortable emotions, you personally are going to have your own set of emotions that make you feel uncomfortable. And then you're going to do something to put those emotions somewhere. So someone's coming in the kitchen. I'm on a live. Is anyone like connecting to this, or am I just not making any sense? Give me some hearts if you at least can relate or like grasp the concept I'm talking about. So in Monday's talk, which was all about 3 things that I used to end emotional eating, we touch on things like, let me ask you this question. Have you ever found yourself snacking and just mindlessly eating, and before you realize it, like you finished the entire box or you finished the entire bag? Thanks, Alice. You finish the entire, and then you look down and you're like, oh my God, I can't believe I just finished that whole thing. Like, where even was I? I don't think I tasted that box of sugar cookies. I don't think I tasted it. I don't even remember eating it. What the heck was I just doing for the last 20 minutes? Or tell me in the chat. Oh, that door was unlocked all overnight, by the way.
We're still alive.
That's a no-no. We don't do that here. Another question, do you think about food almost all the time? Like, does thoughts of food take over the majority of your thoughts, the majority of time that you are thinking about things throughout the day? What am I going to eat next? When was the last time I had carbs? Am I allowed to have carbs at this meal? What else? I'm technically not allowed to eat that food, but I think I really want it. And because it's something that's not allowed, like, it's even more desirable. Like, I really want that cake in the kitchen. Like, it's just sitting there. I really want it, but I shouldn't have it. But I really want it, but I shouldn't. It's just screaming at me from the kitchen. It's talking to me. I hear it. Or another frame of conversation is, how many calories do I need to burn today to eat that? Or, do I deserve to eat this food because I moved enough today? Or there's a family holiday coming up, or there's a birthday coming up, and there's going to be all this food that is so tempting to me, and how am I going to survive? Like, how am I going to get through this event and not eat any of it? I can't have other people see me eat this food. Then they're going to know that I am off my diet, and I'm going to fail. Alice said, I sneak eat. What is that about? And it's always crap, junk, chocolate, and then I feel bloated and crappy. As soon as that pain subsides, I eat more. That is a practice that I would do, and I actually was just going to get to that, so like, we're connected. So any family event specifically, or like holiday, I would go and I would say no to all of the things. I would say no to the pasta and the carbs and good morning. And I would say no to the cake and the dessert. Like, no, I don't need any of that. No, I don't want any of that. Or maybe I would have like a little sliver. But meanwhile, like, I really wanted the full slice. And I would go home after the party was over, and I would go right into the kitchen, and I would open up the cabinets, and I would start eating and snacking on pretty much everything that I had just said no to, except doing it for time and time and time, like minutes and maybe over an hour, because it was like this, I was restricting myself, and I really wanted it, and now I was rebelling, and now I was alone, and no one could see me, and I would sneak boop, 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 into the kitchen as quietly as I could and eat in secret. So I consider eating in secret or hiding food, I mean, it's not just I consider, like, it's a practice that we do that falls under the category of using food as some kind of coping mechanism. Whether you want to call it binge eating or emotional eating or stress eating, or you want to name it something else, that thing that I do. Morning, Felicia. It is truly a practice that is hurting us in the long run. And so something I talk about in the workshop is how that has nothing to do with the food itself. It has nothing to do with the knowledge that you have about what foods are healthy and what foods are, processed and high in sugar and fats that are not helpful for us. It has nothing to do with that part of your brain. You know that information. It's a different part of your brain that is activated, a more primal part, more subconscious part. And so there's a different process to working on that and breaking and untangling all of that. So my next question was going to be, have you ever eaten so much that you afterwards, or the next morning, you wake up with a food hangover? You wake up swollen, puffy face, bloated belly, feeling super lethargic, just heavy. I would even have this feeling where my skin would feel bruised. Like it felt like a bruise was covering my entire body because of the water retention that had come on my body from all of the food that I had eaten. And you wake up with obviously the weight of shame and guilt and thinking like, oh, what did I eat the night before? Like, how much did I actually eat? What did I do? Like, what was the damage? And then immediately, because you feel so sick, there's no desire to have any food. Like, there's no desire. You're just like punishing yourself almost by restricting. And then as soon as all of those feelings go away and your body adapts a few hours later or a day later, then all of a sudden you're hungry again, because of course you're hungry. We need to eat. So your body tells you, I'm hungry. And then it starts the cycle all over again. Good morning, guys. So sneak eating is something that I address specifically in the Warrior Evolution, because it is a habit that is very hard to break, but it's possible. I had just told that story, so I do tell it in the workshop, but in just like in a different way. So the thing I want to end on with this live is, so I gave away 3 practices that I used to overcome my battle with emotional eating. But I actually give away like 5 things in the workshop. So I just kept going. I was like, I need to tell them this. I need to give them this information. So there's actually a worksheet that has 5 things on it. And in the workshop, I talk about these 5 things. I'm not going to give them away, but I do want to talk about the last thing. And that is something that applies to any time you want to start something, like add a healthy, nourishing habit into your life, or break up with a bad habit, untangle a bad habit. And that is the reality that we need to give. This is it. We need to learn to give ourselves permission to do it badly. We need to give ourselves permission to make a mistake. Mistakes, plural. Why? Well, I'll tell you this story really quick. So I train Muay Thai when life is normal, and I live in Manhattan, and Muay Thai is the Thai version of kickboxing. So I've been taking Muay Thai classes like 3, 4, 5, 6 times a week for about 2 years. I love it. I don't do it because of the fitness. I do it because it's incredible to learn this skill. It's an amazing thing for mindset. And also I love just like hitting things. So, like hitting pads feels very, very good. And I really miss it so much. But I have this amazing Sage Muay Thai instructor. He's actually, I don't know exactly where he's from in England, but I want to say he sounds like he's from Liverpool. Just going to throw that out there, but I'm going to ask him next time. Anyway, he has all this sage advice, and he speaks in philosophy in our Muay Thai classes. But one of the things that he says over and over again, and it hits me because this was something I never fully understood growing up, is make a mistake on purpose when you're learning this combination. Do it wrong on purpose. Take a step, take a bigger step, over punch, do it too much to the left, do it too much, do it on purpose, make mistakes on purpose. Do it wrong intentionally. How will you know if you're doing it right, keyword, for you? How will you know if you're doing it right for you if you don't know how it feels to do it wrong for you? How will you know what doing it right feels like for you if you don't know what doing it wrong feels like for you? There's no judgment, there's no wrongness in doing it wrong, especially if you take that as a learning opportunity, as an opportunity to learn more about who you are, what feels right for you, and not think, but feel what it feels like to make that mistake and learn. and know, oh, I was stepping way too far to the left, or I was overdoing it way too much, or I was underdoing it way too much. I need to be bigger, or I need to do it smaller. Muay Thai or the warrior team. Muay Thai is spelled like this. I'll put it in the chat. The warrior evolution, is my 12-week program, and the workshop I did is available for free in the link in my bio. So how are you going to know? Another example of this is a baby that's learning to walk for the first time, and they take a couple wobbly steps, and they get up maybe, and then they fall. And we get really excited as the family, because we're oh my God, the baby's walking. Look, she's taking her first step, or he's trying to get up. And we get the cameras out, and we get all excited, and we see them fall, and we see them fail over and over again. And we hold compassion for them, and we get excited because they're trying and they're learning, and look how much, and this time she did it a little bit different, and look how much he's able to balance now. And of course the baby themselves, there's no judgment, right? There's no, oh God, this is the 30th time I've tried this, and it's just harder every time, and I might as well just give up, because this is obviously not for me. And we as adults watching this baby try and learn this thing for the first time, we're not look at Claire, 5 times already, she can't do it, she can't even do it right. Claire sucks, okay? Baby Claire, you think you can walk? Well, you can't, because obviously you've tried it so many times. You've already tried it 5 times, and you fell every time. So probably not meant for you, baby Claire. You should probably just stop trying and walk. So, do you know what I mean? And of course the baby is there's not even that thought in the baby's mind. The baby's just trying to do this thing that it innately wants to do, and every time they do it wrong, they learn a little bit more about what feels right. So this is the exact same thing that applies to learning to nourish yourself. Keyword, nourish. Because you may be sitting here thinking Christine, I've been feeding myself for 27.2 years. I've been feeding myself for 67 years. I've been feeding myself for 49 years. I know how to eat, and I still can't do it right. What does that say? What do you know about that? And my response to that is, yeah, you may know how to cook. You may know how to use a knife and fork. You may know how to put food into your mouth. But my question to you is, have you ever really taken the time into your life, not out of your life, but taken the time into your life to learn how to nourish yourself? Not only with food, because food is one form of nourishment through our mouth, but nourish ourselves through our eyes, nourish yourself through your ears, nourish yourself through what you take in through your brain, nourish yourself through what you put onto your body, what you surround yourself with. That is also nourishing. All of that falls under the category of nourishing. Have you ever truly learned what your body's nourishment needs are, and how to even hear your body ask you and tell you what it needs? I think we're so concerned with using the external world to tell us what we need, right? That magazine is going to tell us what we need, or that diet is going to tell us what we need, or that celebrity fitness influencer, she knows what I need, and I'm going to listen to her. Or what else? The way that society views what beauty is, or the way that society tells you how you should look. We use so many external sources that the world is telling us how we should look, how we should act, how we should speak, what we should say, what we should do, right? But how often do you ever go in? How often do you ever go in and ask yourself, what is it that I need right now? And not think it, but actually feel it, feel that experience, feel what, there's like a knowing up here, right? Like we can know things and that happens in our brain, but there's also this experiential feeling and knowing. And we all know that intuition does not live up here, it lives in our body, right? Like we often point to our gut instincts. That's where your internal feeling and knowing live. And that's what you're disconnecting from when you use food as your self-sabotage, as your distraction, as your isolation. When you use food to numb, you're numbing yourself from that true you who's telling you, trying to, screaming at you, telling you what it is that it needs. But you are either choosing not to listen or you've never learned how to listen. And that's okay, because listen, we're all beginners at something. And so when you go and you start to learn how to nourish yourself, you are a beginner. You are doing it for the first time. So allowing yourself to do it badly, allowing yourself to make a mistake, allow yourself to do it wrong so you can learn what it feels like to do it right. You're just like that baby trying to walk. So that is a big foundation of what the Warrior Evolution teaches about what this 12-week guided by me as a group, step-by-step program is founded in. And I think that a lot of us can relate to that concept, that mindset, more than the terminology that may be like, I don't identify as that. But the way that you are living and acting in your life does actually align with, I am disconnecting from that internal voice. I am disconnecting from what I really need. I've never asked myself if I actually want the dessert or I just want it because I know I can't have it. So if that sounds like something that could help you, the workshop is for free. On my Instagram bio, there's the link. I'm actually uploading a better video today. It's almost done uploading, so I will make that available. So this video is great that is on the bio link. It's just only my presentation. I didn't realize that it wasn't showing my face the whole time. So I am uploading the workshop that has my face and the slides so that it feels like we're in the same room together and we can have a conversation. So that will be up actually probably in the next few minutes or so. So I'm going to swap that out. But either way, the link's in my bio and that's where you go watch the workshop. And please send me a message if you want to talk more about this. I love discussing this. I love seeing people make the realizations that they have not learned to nourish themselves and how to kind of like direct you and help you taking whatever the next step is for you. But remember, I'm just speaking from my experience. So maybe not everything that I say fits. Maybe not everything I say is for you. So take whatever it is that feels good, try it on, give it something, and learn to listen to your internal voice. The thing about the Warrior Evolution is I'm not telling you, thanks for the hearts, you guys. Thank you, Alice. The thing about the Warrior Evolution is I'm not telling you how to do it right. I'm giving you the tools to help you learn what is right for you. Do you hear the difference in that? I'm not telling you how to do it right. I'm not telling you you've been doing it wrong. I'm giving you the tools to help you figure out if and how to do it right or wrong for you. Because everyone's for you is going to look different. Do you guys know what I mean by that? Give me like at least a heart if you know what I mean by that. Good talk, you guys. Good talk this morning. Thanks for joining me. Now I seriously keep having visions of going to Ireland after all of this is over, and like that's gonna be my next vacation. I've been there 1, 2, 3 times, I think, in my life. At least 3. Yay! So yeah, That's my dream. My next dream is go back to Ireland and do a full-on road trip around the whole country. So maybe I can meet you guys. That would be fun. You guys are great. Thanks for hanging out with me this morning. It's about almost 8:30, so I'm gonna go get ready for today's live workout. It's at 9:30. It's for free. I'm gonna be there. It's on Instagram Live, or if you want to join us on Zoom, just send me a DM and I'll send you the Zoom link so we can all hang out. We see each other on video and we all work out. Basically, like we're in the same room. Oh, Irish stew. Girl, you are speaking to my heart right now. So good. Tea time, scones. Yes. They don't make scones like they do in Ireland here. They're not the same. Oh, I'm so hungry right now. Okay. All right, I gotta go. I'll see you guys at 9:30, and thanks for hanging with me this morning. Send me a DM anytime. Bye. Have a beautiful day.